Rose, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Think about the last time you wanted to do something. Post a video, wear something different, tell someone how you actually feel about them, and you stopped. Not because you couldn't, because somewhere in your head you were already imagining what people would say.
Oh, that hit close to home immediately.
See, that's the moment. That tiny pause before you do the thing.
The pause where you shrink yourself a little.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about today.
The fear of being judged.
And how much of our life it quietly runs.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rose and Jack Everyday English. This is the place where you can improve your English through calm, natural conversations about life, mindset, and everyday moments. I'm Rose.
And I'm Dak. Today's topic is one that follows almost everyone around, whether they admit it or not. The fear of judgment, why we overthink what others notice, why we avoid things because of it, and what happens when we finally stop performing for an audience that isn't even paying attention.
This is a great episode for practicing natural English speaking, too. Lots of everyday expressions coming up. If you're a B1 or B2 learner, this is for you. If you're a stronger or newer learner, just relax, listen, and enjoy.
So here's where I want to start. Why do we assume people are watching us so closely?
Because in our own head, we're the main character. Always. So we just assume everyone else sees us that way too.
But they don't.
No, and that's the strange part. There's actually a name for this in psychology, the spotlight effect. It's this idea that we massively overestimate how much other people notice our appearance, our mistakes, our choices.
Give me an example.
Okay, picture this. You spill coffee on your shirt right before a meeting. To you, it feels like the whole room is staring, like you're wearing a sign that says, "Look at me, I messed up."
Right, it feels huge.
But in reality, most people glance for half a second and go straight back to thinking about their own lunch, their own deadline, their own life.
Because they're not actually watching you, they're living inside their own spotlight.
Exactly. Everyone thinks they're the one on stage. Nobody's really in the audience.
That's such a strange contradiction, though. If everyone feels watched, but nobody's actually watching that closely, who's judging who?
Mostly ourselves. We judge us, and then we just project that fear onto other people.
Okay, I want to admit something small here. Last year, I almost didn't go to a friend's wedding because I didn't own a proper suit, and I was convinced everyone would notice and silently judge me for showing up underdressed.
Did anyone say anything?
Not one person. I checked photos afterward. Nobody was even looking at my shoes. They were dancing, eating, talking to their own friends.
See, that's the whole thing in one story. You built an entire imaginary courtroom in your head, and it turned out to be empty.
An empty courtroom. I like that.
Write that one down. That might be a good one for the shorts clip.
Noted. But here's a real question. Why does our brain do this? Why build a courtroom that isn't even there?
Because historically, being judged by your group actually mattered. If your tribe rejected you thousands of years ago, that could mean real danger, being alone, unprotected. So our brain still treats social judgment like it's a survival issue, even now when the actual risk is basically zero.
So my brain thinks skipping a wedding without a suit is a survival threat.
Basically, yes, your brain hasn't fully caught up with modern life.
That's honestly kind of funny when you say it out loud.
It is. And that's why practicing calm, everyday English conversations like this one matters too. When you talk openly about these fears instead of hiding them, they lose some of their power.
True. Okay. So if most people aren't watching as closely as we think, why does the fear still feel so real in the moment?
Because fear doesn't care about facts. It cares about feelings. And in the moment, the feeling of being watched is loud, even if the reality is quiet.
Loud feeling, quiet reality.
That's a good one, too.
I feel like we're collecting lines today.
We are. Okay, so we've covered why we overestimate how much people actually notice us. But there's a deeper layer to this. What happens when the fear actually stops us from doing something we want to do?
And what happens when we do it anyway?
After the break, we'll get into that. Stay with us.
Welcome back.
Okay, so let's talk about avoidance. Because noticing the fear is one thing, but actually letting it control your choices is another.
Give me a real one.
Has fear of judgment ever stopped you from doing something you actually wanted to do?
Yes, actually. For almost 2 years, I wanted to take a dance class. Just a beginner one, nothing serious. But I kept telling myself I'd look clumsy, that everyone else would already know the steps, that people would stare at the one girl who couldn't keep up.
So what happened?
I avoided it for 2 years. Isn't that wild? 2 years of just not going because of an imaginary audience in my head.
What finally pushed you to go?
Honestly, I just got tired of my own excuse. One day I thought, this fear has already cost me 2 years. How many more am I going to give it?
And?
I walked in, and within 10 minutes I realized something. Everyone else was just as nervous as me. Nobody was studying my footwork. They were too busy worrying about their own.
So the room full of judges turned out to be a room full of nervous beginners?
Exactly that. And that's such a relief, honestly, once you see it. Can I ask you something now?
Sure.
Has there been something you avoided, and then when you finally did it, the fear just didn't show up the way you expected?
Actually, yes. I avoided speaking up in group meetings for years. I always had ideas, but I was scared people would think they were obvious or wrong, or that I'd sound less smart than I wanted to sound.
What changed?
I finally spoke up in a meeting because staying silent started to feel worse than the fear of being judged. And you know what happened? A few people actually agreed with me. One person even said, I was thinking that too. I just didn't say it.
So the room wasn't full of critics either.
No, it was full of people quietly hoping someone else would speak first.
That's such an important point. A lot of the time, judgment isn't even waiting for you. It's other people's own fear standing right next to yours.
Say that again. That's a good one.
Judgment isn't always waiting for you. Sometimes it's just fear, standing next to more fear. But here's something worth being honest about. Sometimes people are actually judgmental. That's real too. Not every fear is imaginary.
True, some people do judge, but even then, what does that really say?
That's actually where I want to go next, because judgment usually says more about the person judging than the person being judged.
That reframe alone could change how someone hears criticism.
It can. After the break, we'll get into exactly that and how understanding this can quietly free up so much of your energy.
Okay.
So we left off on this idea that judgment usually says more about the judger than the judged. I want to sit with that for a second because it's such a quiet shift in thinking, but it changes everything.
Explain what you mean by that.
Think about the harshest, most judgmental people you've ever met. Are they usually the happiest, most secure people around? Or are they the ones who seem the most anxious, the most insecure, the most in need of control?
Usually the second one, now that you mention it.
Right. People who are genuinely at peace with themselves don't spend much energy tearing other people down. Criticism is often just insecurity wearing a louder voice.
Insecurity wearing a louder voice. Okay, that's the line of the episode so far.
I actually experienced this directly. I had a coworker once who constantly commented on other people's choices, their clothes, their work style, even how they ate lunch. For a while, it really got to me.
What changed your perspective?
I found out much later that she was going through an incredibly difficult divorce during that whole time. Her whole life felt out of control, and suddenly her comments made sense. Not as truth about me, but as a reflection of how out of control she felt about her own life.
So her judgment was really just her own pain pointed outward.
Exactly. And once I saw that, I stopped taking it personally. It didn't fix her situation, but it freed me from carrying weight that was never mine to carry.
That's such a generous way to look at it, though. Does that mean we should just accept when people are unkind?
No, not accept. Understand. There's a difference. You can set boundaries with someone and still understand that their judgment comes from their own storm, not from some accurate reading of your worth.
Their own storm. I like that image.
It helps me, honestly, because the truth is, most people are not spending their day building a detailed case against you. They're distracted, they're tired, they're dealing with their own stuff, bills, relationships, self-doubt, whatever it is.
They're the main character of their own movie.
Exactly. Going back to what we said earlier, everyone's the main character in their own head. That means, statistically, you're barely a background character in almost everyone else's story.
That's oddly comforting and slightly humbling at the same time.
It really is both. And I think that's the whole heart of today's episode. So much of our energy, our creativity, our honesty, our willingness to try new things gets locked away because we're protecting ourselves from an audience that most of the time isn't even watching.
So what do we do with that, practically speaking?
I think it starts small. Wear the thing. Say the honest thing. Take the class. Post the video. Speak in the meeting. Not because the fear disappears completely, it probably won't, but because you finally realize the fear was always louder than the actual danger.
Loud feeling, quiet reality. Back to that line.
Exactly. And honestly, the version of you who does the brave, slightly uncomfortable thing anyway, that version tends to look back and feel proud, not embarrassed.
While the version who stays silent just carries quiet regret instead.
That's it exactly. So if there's one thing to take from this episode, it's this.
Go ahead.
Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to judge you as much as you think they do.
Say that one more time, slowly. That's the line.
Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to judge you as much as you think they do.
That's going on every shorts clip we make from this episode.
I hope it finds the person who needs to hear it today.
Now it's time for Word Walk. 5 useful words from today's conversation. First up, spotlight effect. This is a psychological idea, meaning we believe people notice us far more than they actually do. Example, I was sure everyone saw my mistake, but that was just a spotlight effect.
Next, underdressed. This means wearing clothes that are too casual or simple for an occasion. Example, I felt underdressed at the wedding because I didn't own a suit.
Then we have reframe. To reframe something means to look at it from a new, different perspective. Example, she helped me reframe the criticism as her own insecurity, not my failure.
Fourth word, insecurity. This is a lack of confidence or a feeling of not being good enough. Example, his constant criticism of others came from his own insecurity.
And finally, carry weight. This is an expression meaning to hold emotional stress or burden that isn't really yours. Example, once I understood her situation, I stopped carrying weight that was never mine.
5 simple words straight from real conversation. That's the whole idea behind Word Walk.
So that's today's episode, and honestly, I think it's one worth sitting with for a while.
Fear of judgment is so quiet, but it shapes so many choices. What we wear, what we say, what dreams we chase or quietly let go of.
And the truth is, most people are simply too caught up in their own lives to be watching yours as closely as you imagine.
So here's our question for you today, and we genuinely love to read your answer in the comments. Is there something you've been avoiding because of a fear of judgment, and what would happen if you did it anyway this week?
We really mean that. Tell us in the comments below.
If today's episode helped you feel a little lighter, please subscribe and share it with a friend who needs to hear this too.
Every conversation is a step closer to speaking English naturally.
See you in the next episode, friends.